Hello there people of YouTube, my name is Katy and you're watching my review of Steins Gate 0. The original Steins Gate was hailed as one of the best visual novels to leave the shores of Japan when it was originally released only last year in Europe and America, and still has a perfect 10 out of 10 rating on Steam and a strong 87% on Metacritic. And now developer 5PB and Nitro Plus, along with publisher PQube, have brought us Steins Gate 0, a sequel of sorts to the original sci-fi visual novel game. But does it stand up to the like of its franchise's high standards? Let's find out. Now, first of all, I'm going to start by pressing the spoiler alarm because it's impossible to talk about the story of Zero without completely ruining the ending to the first game. So if you haven't already played the original game, then either skip forward to the time showed on the screen here, where you'll completely skip over what I'm talking about story-wise, or you can just get on back, start playing the original game now, or watching the anime or something. I promise you, by experiencing the original game, you will have so much more of a meaningful experience of Zero. It's the kind of game which, while the developers have done a great job of introducing some of the stories and nuances to the original game into the plot and reminding you generally of what happened, you really need to play the original to kind of get the same feeling and meaning out of the sequel, so warning. So Steins Gate 0 expands on the dramatic time-travelling themes you've come to expect, with a slightly darker flavour than the original. The reason it's not exactly a sequel, so to speak, is due to its multiple endings and world lines, and thus Zero takes place both before the events of the true ending of the original, and also after the original ending scene. Trust me, that does make sense somehow. We're reunited with our scientist friend Rintaro Kobe, no longer taking up his Kyoma persona, and is left depressed, lonely, and emotionally despondent after not only being unable to save Kurusu, but also unintentionally killing her with his own hands. This is a broken Okabe of the Vita world line, who has now given up on time travel altogether, believing there's no way to save his friend and that World War III is inevitable. After attending a college talk, Okabe meets Maho Hyajo, a rather young-looking scientist, who along with the Professor Alexis Leskinen, is developing an artificial intelligence software which allows you to digitally store the memories of a person and create a replica of that person using the data. Okabe soon comes involved in Maho's research when he discovers that the person the AI data is based off is Kurisu herself, who worked alongside Maho to first develop the program. Now, of course, these themes of AI, conspiracy theories, time travel, and branching plot decisions all converge to reach that ultimate goal of finding Steins Gate, the world line where World War III never happens and all his friends are saved. Zero brings with it the return of many characters from the original game, such as Daru, Mayuri, Fares, Luca, and Suzuha, but also some new faces too, such as my favourite new character, the aforementioned Maho, as well as friends Yuki, Fubuku, and Cade, all of which play a part in both the future and past of our main cast. Just like the original game, there are multiple endings to pursue, including the true ending, and the game's story branches off based on the decisions you make using your smartphone. For example, something as simple as deciding whether or not to answer a call from AI Kurisu can change the plot and ending altogether. While I mentioned earlier that this is a much darker story than the original, there are some comedy segments to the game too, including my favourite scene with Okabe and Maho in an Akihabara arcade, and some truly sweet moments such as witnessing the growing bonds between Daru and Suzuha. While Zero's script does verge on unnecessarily creepy at times when Daru comes into play, and he often says some completely inappropriate lines to his daughter, on the whole it's incredibly well written, immersive, and truly creates believable characters. One of the only negative points I could even nitpick about the game was the odd typo or sentence structuring problem, where, for example, a word might split in half and you get one half of the word on one line and one half on the other line, or a random semicolon popping up at the beginning of a sentence, things like that. But just small things which don't really affect the game. Yeah, they're a little bit annoying, but in the grand scheme of a 50-hour plus game, you know, there's bound to be the odd typo. Regardless of this, I found Zero to be really well paced, especially for a game of its length, with hours worth of content depending on your reading speed, with just enough light-hearted scenes to distract from the overarching theme of uncertainty and dread. A great improvement on the original is the art and visual style itself, which is absolutely gorgeous and in keeping with the grungy yet anime-inspired themes of the game, with character design once again done by Huke. The background artwork is also fantastic, and as I said in a recent Root Letter review, it always makes me smile to see real-world locations like the Akihabara Crossing or Radio Kaikun pop up. During the many scenes when Zero shows flashbacks to the original game, you can really notice the difference between the quality of the artwork. The Japanese voice acting is also great, even if Daru's voice is a little bit grating at times, but it's also good to see the original voice cast are back for this one. If you love the original game and are worried about what Zero has to offer, especially after the seemingly final true ending of the original game, cast aside your doubts and get ready for another fantastic, intelligent, multi-layered and twisting visual novel, which will surely keep you locked in your room until you've completed every ending and visited every world line the game has to offer. Thank you very much for watching this review of Steins Gate Zero. If you found it helpful, make sure you leave a like and let me know if you're playing it already in the comments down below, but please make sure not to leave any spoilers of any of the game's endings. That's really not cool. So thanks very much again, and I'll see you next time. Bye!